Hello and a warm welcome to this video where we will discuss a topic that is of great importance to you when you have to write a bachelor or master thesis: knowledge and how it is produced in the world of science. Most students have a notion in their head that goes something like this: academic knowledge is like a constantly growing stack of books, and the goal of my thesis is to make this stack even taller, even if it's only by a few micrometers. Well, unfortunately, this notion is not only misleading, but also simply does not align with reality, because human knowledge in general, as well as the knowledge produced in the world of science in particular, is never static but always dynamic. Dynamic means that knowledge can not only grow but also shrink. Take, for example, the flat Earth theory. When Aristotle and other great thinkers provided evidence that the Earth is round, not only was a worldview destroyed, but a huge body of what was considered knowledge was also debunked and proven wrong. In other words, human knowledge is not a constantly growing stack of books. This fact remains true even if some people still believe that the Earth is flat. But let's not go down this road. So, if the metaphor of academic knowledge as an ever-growing stack of books is misleading, what's a better, more useful mental model for you? Instead of envisioning human knowledge as a never-ending stack of books, which gets bigger and bigger, think of it more as a dialogue bubble where facts and knowledge can come in and out. Inside this bubble are the leading professors, including your thesis supervisor, debating about the question of what actually constitutes knowledge. As evidenced by the flat Earth example, what we consider to be true knowledge can change very quickly when new convincing evidence is presented. Therefore, imagine your thesis supervisor as a bouncer or gatekeeper determining whether your thesis is significant enough to enter the dialogue bubble. Therefore, it is very important that you understand that your primary task with your thesis is not to add to a book stack, but to convince your supervisor that your bachelor or master thesis is good enough to be part of the dialogue bubble. With this mental model, you should also better understand why citations are so prevalent in scientific writing. The purpose of citing is not to show off all the readings you have done or to compile an exhaustive list of every publication on the subject you're writing about. Such an approach is doomed to failure for at least two reasons. First, you neither have the time nor the space to cite every publication ever written on your subject matter. Second, your thesis supervisor simply isn't interested in that. You don't need to inform him or her of what is already known. Believe me when I tell you that your thesis supervisor is likely to be very familiar with the literature. So the true role of citing is to embed your bachelor or master thesis and your findings into the ongoing conversation about the topic at hand, which is known as the scientific discourse. Let's make an example for illustration. Let's say you're writing your bachelor's or master thesis on employee motivation and that you want to discover what actually motivates employees, whether it's high pay, a good team, good sense of purpose, and so on. Regardless of what your results will be, it is absolutely crucial to link your thesis with the current conversation on the topic of employee motivation, or to link it, as we call it, the dialogue bubble. A useful mental aid to internalize this principle is the they say, I say concept. Citing the existing research findings and opinions of other authors is the they say. Presenting your own views and the insights gained from your own bachelor or master thesis is the I say. Here a concrete example how you can implement and formulate this in practice. A passage in your thesis might read as follows: studies have identified various key factors that influence employee motivation. Müller 2017 found that higher remuneration increases motivation, while Mustermeister 2020 emphasized that financial incentives alone are not sufficient. Becker 2018 highlighted the importance of team cohesion. The results of the present work, your bachelor's or master thesis, point to the significant role of factors X and Y in employee motivation. This aligns with Müller 2017, but is somewhat contradictory to Mustermeister 2020. Overall, it is evident that, and so on and so on. So remember this: in academia, knowledge is generated through dialogue, and it's absolutely crucial to integrate your thesis into this ongoing discussion, or as we call it, dialogue bubble. It is also important to understand that knowledge is not a static, ever-growing stack of books. Rather, it's more like a dialogue bubble that travels through time.